Earlier today, I was contemplating why Biden didn't use his cybersecurity to, attack Russia and slow them down and hinder their progress in a way that Ukraine could have had more time to build up resources and even, get some of their civilians out of there. And today we have hacktivist group Anonymous doing the dirty work for them. So let's take a look at this article here that's been written about the hacktivist group and how they are, kind of fucking with Russia and how they rightfully deserve to fuck with Russia. Anonymous leaks database of the Russian Ministry of Defense. Thursday evening, the Anonymous Collective declared a cyber war against Russia as Putin's forces closed in on the Ukrainian capital, and it looks like they were serious. On Friday evening, Anonymous claimed they managed to breach the database belonging to the Russian Ministry of Defense. Anonymous posted the database online and made it accessible to anyone. Hackers all around the world target Russia in the name of Anonymous. Let them know we do not forgive. We do not forget. Anonymous owns fascists. Always, the group tweeted. It seems that the database contains officials' phone numbers, emails, and passwords. Twitter users seemed excited about the news and continue discussing how they could use them to harm Putin's regime. Sign them up for GOP and Trump fundraising emails. That'll be enough to drive them all crazy, one user suggested. Okay, that's kind of stupid. Anyway, many encouraged each other to send spam and malware to Russians. The original tweet announcing the leak and containing the link to the database was taken down because it violated the Twitter rules. Anonymous updated their tweet by removing the link. Just in, hacktivist group Anonymous has successfully breached and leaked the database of the Russian Ministry of Defense website. You can download all the private data of the Russian mod here. And this is all of their info being released, which is fantastic. Slow them down as much as you can. Bide time for the citizens to get the fuck out of there. Poland is taking refugees, with or without identification. It is time for the citizens to be able to be safe without having to worry about their lives because Russia's leader is a fucking idiot. Many activists took Ukraine's calls on the hacker underground to defend against Russia to heart. Earlier today, Anonymous claimed responsibility for taking down Russia's most prominent websites used to spread Kremlin propaganda. Even Pornhub had its say by blocking Russian users and greeting them with the Ukrainian flag and a message of support. Meanwhile, Russia has also opened a cyber front. Ukraine's Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, said the hackers were using password-stealing emails to break into Ukrainian soldiers' email accounts and using the compromised address books to send further malicious messages. According to Reuters, a Russian-based cybercrime group, Conti, known for using ransomware to extort millions of dollars from the US and European companies, vowed on Friday to attack enemies of the Kremlin if they respond to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In a blog post, the Conti group said it was announcing its full support for the government of President Vladimir Putin. If anybody will decide to organize a cyber attack or any war activities against Russia, we are going to use all our possible resources to strike back at the critical infrastructures of an enemy, the Conti blog post read. But here's the thing. There's even more to that. And why don't we let them say it for themselves? Where is it here? Here's the video here. Let's let Anonymous talk for themselves. As I drink
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are Anonymous. We are watching closely the current standoff between Russia and Western allies over Ukraine. We call for the creation of a neutral grouping of countries wedged between NATO and Russia that would include Ukraine, Finland, Belarus, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Moldova. This neutral security belt could serve as an alliance similar to NATO or the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO. A grouping would act as a cordon sanitaire to assuage Russia's fears without NATO losing its face. We call for a referendum to be held in Ukraine's Donbas region on its ultimate fate. We recommend the referendum be held on whether to follow a peace protocol or hand over the territories of Donbas to a United Nations peacekeeper administration. Over time, a referendum could be held on whether the Donbas regions would reunite with Ukraine with Northern Irish-style status, become an independent state, or join Russia. As for NATO troops in Bulgaria and Romania, we recommend the notion of reviving the Treaty on Open Skies to help ensure that troop deployments are at tolerable levels to each other. If tensions continue to worsen in Ukraine, then we can take hostage industrial control systems, sole party to be blamed if we escalate on that will be the same one who started it in the very first place with troop buildups, childish threats, and waves of unreasonable ultimatums. We also call the UN to immediately deploy peacekeepers on at least the Ukrainian side of the front line in Donbass under the basis of UN Resolution 337-V to prevent any further provocations by any side. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
And this is already more than I can say about anything that Biden has done. Biden has the ability to do the exact same thing, but he hesitated. He hesitates because he's scared. He hesitates because he thinks Putin will actually pull the trigger on the nuclear button. And Putin knows full well that if he hits the nukes, so does the US. It's a stalemate. So why on earth is Biden hesitating, helping them out by slowing them down? If he could have slowed them down just a little bit, we wouldn't have had the casualties we've had today. We would have had more citizens escape, and we would have had a little bit of a brighter future for Ukraine than we do now. And I know that's probably controversial to think about, but think about that. If he affected the internet or the gas lines, the water, if he did anything to slow them down, it would have prevented countless deaths. It would have slowed down this invasion to the point where they had more time to prepare. And it's very sad to see that this shit is still going on and it's being reliant on free people to do their dirty work for them. Let's take a look at this. On the GhostSec Telegram, we published taking down the Russian military website and all subdomains. We have also published a leak containing multiple things. GhostSec and Anonymous stands with Ukraine. Keep fighting. We support you however we can. Take a look at this. Russian military website down. Russian military subdomains all down. Look at them all. They're all down. Over around 100 plus subdomains for the Russian military were hosted on this IP. You may check DNS dumpster for validation. Now all down. In support of the people in Ukraine, we stand by you. Check host. Russia-Ukraine war. Logins from the gov.ru domain and mil.ru domain that we have acquired through multiple means, from checking previous dumps to dumping some of the sites ourselves. Also included in this leak are files from one of the telecoms that we had exploited. And then even more subdomains. Mil.ru domain, down by GhostSec, in support of the people in Ukraine. Keep fighting Russia, cannot win. PS, to the Ghost of Kiev, huge respect. He is a Ukraine pilot who shot down 5 to 6 Russian jets. I do have footage of that. I will be putting it in a compilation of the atrocities that have been committed in this, because people need to see the devastation. People need to see that this war is happening in front of them. It's no longer about if the war is going to happen. That shit has sailed. It is already about how far is this war going to be taken. Let's take a look here at the Hacking Collective. This is from the Daily Mail, but they are even going in on this. The elusive computer experts issued the stark announcement on Twitter. They said they were officially in cyber war against the Russian government. Shortly afterwards, they revealed they had targeted Kremlin-backed RT. I don't know what RT stands for. Hacking Group Anonymous has declared cyber war against Vladimir Putin's government after he mounted a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The elusive computer experts has issued the stark announcements on their Twitter account on Thursday evening. They said shortly before 10 p.m. the Anonymous Collective is officially in cyber war against the Russian government. Around 30 minutes later, they announced that they had taken down the website of the Kremlin-backed TV channel RT, which broadcasts in Britain and has been heavily criticized for its coverage. When Mail Online attempted to access the site this morning, it was still inaccessible and only displayed an error message that said this site can't be reached. The Anonymous Collective is officially in cyber war against the Russian government. From today, or I guess from yesterday, just before 10 p.m. The cyber war declaration raises the prospect that Russia could be subjected to systematic hacking attempts in the coming days. Prior to the invasion of Ukraine on Thursday, the country's government and banks were targeted by a massive cyber attack that was believed to have been carried out by Russia. People on social media responded positively to Anonymous's cyber war declaration against Putin. One person wrote, "Thank you. Now work on draining their finances." Another said, "You are awesome, thanks." A third wrote, "Thank you. I love you. The most beautiful thing ever." Anonymous said in their tweet about RT, "The Anonymous Collective has taken down the website of the Russian propaganda station RT News." Whew. Anonymous have previously targeted groups including the Ku Klux Klan, great, and Islamic terrorists, also fantastic. Members are known as Anons and are distinguished by their Guy Fawkes masks. In July last year, the collective warned Tesla founder Elon Musk that they plan to target him after saying he wields too much power over the cryptocurrency market, which technically he does. But it's so nice to see that even though the governments will not stand up to these people, that good-natured citizens, people who don't even want the credit, who don't even want to be remembered for this, are going out of their way to slow down Russia. That speaks volumes to what our government is willing to do to let them actually go ahead with the invasion. If Biden had the cybersecurity forces do what the hacktivist groups were doing, but to a larger scale, this wouldn't be happening at this moment. It would be delayed. It would have been delayed enough where the threat could be taken seriously, the troops would have amassed, and then Ukraine could have gotten their people out of there. But the president is still there. The citizens are still fighting. Even old women, not young children, but young adults are picking up assault rifles to fight for their freedoms. And it's more than I can say about myself, because if I was in the same situation, I would be the biggest pussy. I would not be able to pick up that gun and shoot somebody for my own freedom. I can't say that I could, because I would have to look at those faces in my dreams for the rest of my life. The people in Ukraine are braver than I will ever be, and they deserve as much support as they can get. And there is even a donation link that if you wanted to go to, here, let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me 1 sec. I want to include it in this video. There is a donation link here. Let me see. Here it is. I will be including this in the description down below where you can actually donate to this to help the people out. This is the Help Ukraine Now GoFundMe. And I don't think GoFundMe is going to fuck over another group of people. So, looking at this, Ukraine humanitarian appeal, Help Ukraine Now. Russia has declared war on Ukraine and poses the largest threat to international global security since World War II. The Ukrainian people will fight to defend their homeland, and in doing so will prevent the spread of Russian aggression. Russia's aggression will result in one of the largest humanitarian crises of this century. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Ukrainians will be displaced, forced to flee their homeland. And that is not okay. I haven't shed so many tears for somebody I've never known in my life than I have since I've seen the footage of what's going on in Ukraine. I empathize with them. I wish I could do more for them. But all I can do is put the stories out there. I have no money to give. I have no weapons. I have no training. I am useless in this. But people who have these particular set of skills to help Ukraine have been stepping up tenfold and going out of their way to help them. And I hope if you have extra money to donate to them, you can, because they need anything they can get to get the fuck out of there. Or they need anything they can to get some sort of weaponry, anything to help them prevent Russia's hostile takeover. This is a dangerous time for Ukraine, and my heart goes out for them. I have seen too many corpses. I have been sent too many videos and images of the shit that's going on there, and it is terrifying. I wouldn't want to be in their situation. Now the question is, would you? Do you want to stand idly by and let Russia take them over? If you can't attribute to them in terms of a monetary thing, spread videos, make videos, show the world what is going on there. There has to be something you can do in order to help. I started this when I started doing the whole trucker convoy coverage, but now this is way bigger than any of us could have imagined. Nobody thought that this was going to be happening in February, except for, weirdly enough, Alex Jones. And I guess the government's new, because Biden seems to have been informed about this since December, hence his information being given to China by his own hands and having them leak it back to Russia. This is terrifying. This is terrible. Russia needs to be punished. They need to realize that they cannot get away with this just because they have nuclear weapons. Whether it's hacking them, taking their websites down, slowing down their internet, taking their internet out completely, fucking with their water supplies, anything it takes to slow them down. And I hate to say that because it's not the citizens of Russia that want this. They're strictly against this. But Putin is fucking insane. He is a nut job. And just me saying that is enough for me to have a target on my back. His ego's so out of control, he could easily kill me if this ends up becoming a larger thing. He could kill any press member that ends up standing against him. But I don't fucking care. I want the videos out there. They need to know that people don't fucking like this. Anyways, guys, I'll be back with another video. I have plenty more to cover with all this shit. And if you want to stick around for more, I guess subscribe, like, dislike. I don't give a fuck about that. Have a conversation with me down in the comments. Whether you agree or disagree, I don't care. Let's talk. Let's see what's going on. Let's see where people are at. Let's see what people think. I love you all. See you all next time. Bye-bye.